My husband and his beloved mistress died together in a car accident. They left me with a pair of illegitimate children. 18 years passed in a blur. I poured my heart and soul into raising those children until, at last, they earned admission to Cornell University, the country's top university. But on the very day they received their acceptance letters, my dead husband returned, and beside him stood his mistress. She clutched my husband's arm and beamed at me. Thanks to your tireless care, my two sons finally made it into Cornell. If not for you, the two of us wouldn't have been free to live so happily together all these years. Later, my husband demanded a divorce. He wanted to marry his mistress and reunite their perfect little family of 4. I didn't cry, nor did I rage. I only smiled and said, sure, Mom, we got in. I was in the kitchen preparing dinner when the excited shouts of my sons echoed from the study. Mom, we both got into Cornell. The two of them rushed out, throwing their arms around me in unison. I looked up at my boys, now towering over me by a head, and my heart swelled with pride. You two are incredible. You'll always be Mommy's pride and joy. My husband had been gone for many years. As a single mother, I had raised the boys on my own for 18 long years. And now, seeing them admitted into one of the nation's top universities, I could hardly put my joy into words. Back then, my husband and his mistress, Janie Winston, had died together in a car crash, leaving behind twin boys. Against the protests and scorn of everyone around me, I insisted on raising the illegitimate children of my husband and his mistress as my own. In the blink of an eye, 18 years had passed. The boys had grown tall and strong, and under my relentless care and devotion, they had both secured places at Cornell University. Now, seeing the fruits of all those years of effort, I couldn't be prouder. Mom, we owe it all to you for raising us so tirelessly all these years. Yeah, Mom, without your patient guidance, we'd never have made it this far. The twins had always been filial and considerate. They knew how much I had sacrificed for them, and often promised that once they graduated and found good jobs, they would ensure I lived out my old age in comfort. Their words filled me with warmth, and then I remembered, 2 days from now would be their birthday. In previous years, I had always booked a private dining room at a hotel for their celebrations. But this year, I thought, why not combine their birthday party with a banquet to celebrate their admission? It would be lively, joyful, and memorable. I went ahead and reserved a grand hall at the finest restaurant in the city. At the same time, I shared the news of their admission in the family group chat. The moment the message went out, the notifications exploded, 99 plus in an instant. Sammy and Scott really did us proud. If only Jeremy knew how accomplished his two sons had become, he could finally rest in peace. I skimmed through the messages, then sent the banquet location to the group. With everything arranged, I silenced my phone, set it aside, and quietly waited for the day of their birthday banquet to arrive. The birthday banquet was set for 10 o'clock in the morning, 2 days later. That day, I arrived at the restaurant early. I went over the menu and the event program again and again, determined that not a single detail be overlooked. Most of the guests were from the Grant family. None of my own relatives came. Back then, when I defied everyone's objections and insisted on raising the twin sons of my husband, Jeremy Grant, and his mistress, Janie Winston, my parents had been so furious they nearly collapsed from rage. Even after all these years, they still couldn't understand why I had thrown away a good life just to suffer and raise another woman's children. Supported by relatives, my in-laws entered the hall. They went straight to the main seats and sat down. My husband's elder brother and younger sister, along with their families, filled the seats at either side. The main table was set for 8. Surrounded by relatives, my two sons were pressed close on either side, leaving no place at all for me. Allison, what are you standing there for? Serve Mom and Dad some tea. Lillian picked up a handful of chips and shot me a glance. She was my husband's younger sister. Her own marriage had been miserable, abused by her husband and scorned for failing to bear a son. But last year, at 40, she finally managed to give birth to one. Now, with a boy in her arms, her back had straightened. Click the link in my bio to get the full story for free.